it's interesting that Newcastle are looking for stability in terms of giving Pardew an unprecedented 8-year deal. But Blackburn go and sack a manager after 7-8 games in the season? And I was talking to one of my IBIS teammates, Carl Bolton, who's a Blackburn Rovers fan, and he was just not happy. He was not happy in terms of the timing of it. And
yeah, but he's the only one that is, though, because there's so many that have wanted them to go for a long, long time since like midway through last season.
No, very true. But at the same time, Mike, it's a case of that should have happened in the summer. That should have happened in the summer. It shouldn't have happened now.
It's really bad time then.
I mean, doing it this early. Same with Coventry. And getting rid of a manager so early.
Yeah, but Coventry lost to us, mate. Coventry lost at home to Stevenage. You know, little used to be non-league Stevenage. So, you know.
No, true. But at the same time, why get rid of a manager that early? Why not get rid of a manager in the summer when at least you've got time to scout a replacement? That's the thing. But the Blackburn Rovers situation is going to be very interesting because, like I mentioned earlier, there is actually a connection to pitch talk in this, because Alan Shearer was at 7-4, Tim Sherwood was at 7-4 as well, Mick McCarthy at 5-2, Billy Davis at 10-1, Eric Black at 12-1, and there were a few people who were on 20-1, including Alex McLeish, former Blackburn player Gary Flitcroft, Jurgen Klinsmann, another former Blackburn player Colin Hendry, Harry Redknapp was at 20-1, and also our second Pitch Talk Meets interviewee, Mr. Judan Ali, is at 20-1 on Sky Bet to take over at Venky's owned Blackburn. So when we saw this, it was like, wow. It's like our second Pitch Talk Meets interviewee is actually in the frame for the Blackburn job at 20-1, and that's some pretty elite in terms of Blackburn Rovers. That's some pretty elite company that's there. I mean, Colin Hendry, Tim Sherwood, Gary Flitcroft, these guys as well. So it's quite interesting. It'd be very interesting to see if Judan Ali was to get that job. That would be fantastic. And Newcastle, I can understand them trying to bring stability to the club, giving Pardew an 8-year deal. But if he doesn't serve at least 4 years of that, it makes an 8-year contract pointless. And again, something not worth the paper it's written on. But I don't know, man. I think Kean was treated horribly, and I still don't think that Sam Allardyce should have really been sacked from Blackburn anyway. But that's just me. But Gman Gezzie, and then we're going to throw it out to the Skypers and also Mike Harneman on the phone line as well. This one of them was, what do you guys reckon of the Steve Kean situation and the Pardew thing as well? Two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Well, you know what? With the Steve Kean, let's just roll into that one first. It's one of those ones, it's not really a shock because, you know, you had at the beginning of the season where you had one of the Venky men saying, look, he's only got 3 games.
Yeah,
if he loses 3 games on the bounce, he's going to go. So, you know, and that wasn't a good thing to do inside the media. Then you have last season and this season where fans just don't want him there. Do you get me? Fans just don't want the guy there. If you got fans that don't want the man in the club, then you're fighting a losing battle as it is.
True.
Then you had the fact that he had death threats sent to him some time ago.
Yeah,
so
which was a disgrace.
When you say untenable, it's like one of those jobs. Steve Kean, to be honest, he is a better man than myself. You know, and at the end of the day, I think I would have resigned from that job as soon as those death threats came through the door. Because to me, I don't need to save no face. At the end of the day, it's clear to see that these people don't want me here. What's the point of even trying to help them get their club back into a position where they want them?
Yeah. Not true. It's one of them ones. You don't want me, screw you.
Precisely. No. But that's the attitude he has had. It's the same sort of attitude he had with Sam Allardyce himself when he was slagging him off behind his back. You get me? But it's like, you know, the people that you're trying to defend, they don't even like you. So
yeah.
You know,
well, it's like me, you or Gezzie trying to defend someone from the BNP. The person probably hates our guts, but like we're still going to defend them. It's like, wait, no, that's fighting a losing battle automatically. It's a pointless battle.
There's many cases like that out there, but it's just for Steve Kean. It's not really a shock. It's not really a shock. The timing, I can understand what you're saying about the timing, but at the end of the day, you know what? He was given a clear chance, and that's one thing he can't say he never had compared to a lot of other managers out there. You know, a lot of other managers have been Coventry City. Sacked their manager within 3-4 games.
Yeah. Even on the 4-year plan as well. We saw Paul Hart after 5 games. As Matt Hodgson referred to on Pitch Talk Meets Matt Hodgson. Remember, youtube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can find Pitch Talk Meets Matt Hodgson. And remember, we got our 4-year plan competition relating to that as well. But G-Man, sorry.
But quickly, just moving on quickly to the Newcastle thing, because I know Jesse wants to jump in. It's the fact of the matter is, it's great for Newcastle to have a manager there long term, but I think the contract's a bit too steep. 8 years for me is a bit could I say over the top.
Back up though, I think,
because at the end of the day, it's like most managers are at a club these days at 2-3 seasons max.
Yeah, some people don't even get that. The AVB got 8 months. Roy Hodgson got 6.
Most Newcastle managers are there for 2 seasons, 3 seasons max in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, that is a bit of a weird one, if you ask me.
I called it from as soon as Steve Kean was put in charge of the club that he would get them relegated. He did, and now he's been sacked. But I will say this, I really don't like how the Venkies have dealt with it. I don't. I think he probably deserved a bit more time, and I don't see why he didn't have more time, because at the end of the day, right, whoever they're going to go and get to replace him, like, yes, they're going to have a bit more time because it was early on in the season, but I have to go and say that even in spite of that, right, the bottom line of it is this: at the end of the day, whoever comes in, they're going to need time to settle in, to bed in, to get the team, to get the club as a whole to buy into their system, and things might not necessarily work out straight away for them either. So you're going from bad to something much, much worse. And it's going to be one of those positions where, you could be looking at Blackburn becoming the new Leeds. Yeah, I said it. Blackburn becoming the new Leeds and just sliding all the way down the league tables and going down in divisions as a result.
Sliding like a stripper down a pole. But, right, could happen.
But I will say this, if anybody's looking to go and put on a cheeky pun as a bet, right, I would go and put a couple quid on Julian Alley becoming a new Blackburn manager.
Yeah, it'd be tremendous if he got it. I said it'd be tremendous if we got it. I mean, does anyone else want to jump in terms of the Pardew, contract, and also does anyone want to jump in on the Steve Kean issue as well?
I will say something quickly about the Pardew thing. The 8-year deal is absolutely crazy. The reason why I say that is just because Mike Ashley was doing such a good job of running the club financially, even though there was a whole hoo-ha about, Kevin Nolan leaving, Andy Carroll getting sold, all the rest of it. So far, the way that they've reinvested was smart, it was steady, and for them to go and suddenly throw out this 8-year contract, to me, personally, I think it's a bad deal. I say you go and extend it, maybe by another year, maybe 2, or maybe have an option to extend it by 2. But to go and legitimately give them an 8-year deal outright, I personally don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good move. But what I will say is this: if they are going to give, they have to go and commit to it fully and give him the backing. If they don't give him the backing, like you said, the 8-year contract has absolutely no value whatsoever, and you might as well throw it in the bin because it's useless.
The Pardew situation, with that, if they had a really bad season and got relegated again, and they've given him an 8-year contract now, would they stick to it or what?
I don't know. I think the only person who can answer that is Mike Ashley. You would hope he'd stick to it, but that's a great question. If Newcastle, lo and behold, were to get relegated, would they do it? Would they still honour the contract? Because there's got to be some sort of loophole in it that says, if we get relegated, then
it cuts the deal in 4 or something like that.
Yeah, like with Bobby Zamora. Apparently, there's in his contract, if QPR get relegated, he can walk.
In regards to Steve Kean, I think it was always going to be for him. Like, they showed intent early on that you know, he wasn't in their long-term plans. He done well to hang on as long as he did, to be honest. But I always thought the end was near for him. I didn't think he was a manager in a safe seat. So yeah, that's all I'll say in regards to Steve Kean. In regards to Pardew and the 8-year contract, I mean, just from my personal point of view, I mean, for them Newcastle owners to dish out an 8-year contract, does that mean that they believe in his vision for the club over the next 8 years? Because we all know how quickly football teams can go from the top to the very bottom. Just ask Liverpool fans, do you know what I mean?
Mate, just ask Arsenal since the Invincibles. How many trophies
what I'm saying is,
since that?
you could be playing in Europe 1 year and then you don't play in it the next year, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for what I'm asking in that sense is, do Mike Ashley and his advisors believe that Alan Pardew is the man that's going to take the club to his highest heights in the next 8 years?
That's a good shout, and that's a good question.